From your experience, which are the two main recommendations for the governments to adapt their infrastructure to climate change in a successful way?
The first thing is we need to plan for extremes. The climate science suggests that not only will storms become more intense and sea levels will rise, but that extreme events could be a lot more prevalent than they have been in the past. And we've seen this already with some of the existing flooding, so we need to really think carefully about extremes. And the other main recommendation, I think, is to look at the entire system. You can't save everything. That's prohibitively expensive, and so you have to harden some infrastructures and then be prepared to deal with the residual risk, to have a better emergency response networks and so on to deal with those other risks that you really can't eliminate completely.
Which are the three main factors the risk management department or other establishment departments has to study so they can step ahead with positive results?
I think one factor is the role of the international community. A lot of people think that because global warming is caused mostly by other countries, that other countries are going to help come to the rescue with funds and so on. I don't think that's going to happen. The amount of international funding in this area is, depending on how you count, 1/10,000th the level of total worldwide investment in infrastructure. So the first thing is this has to be Colombia driving this with Colombia's own interests first and foremost. Second thing is I think there are going to be some areas where Colombia is going to need to coordinate with other countries, especially as it relates to the Amazon region. And the third is I think it's very important to pay attention to nature. We talk about infrastructure and climate change, and that really means humans, cities especially, and that's really important. That's the bulk of this conference. But we also have to remember that climate change is going to affect natural ecosystems, which are very important to Colombia's tourism and to its wealth. And the natural systems don't have their own infrastructures, so they need the capacity to adapt, and it means rethinking strategies around national parks, for example, creating corridors between national parks as opposed to individually fragmented parks.
How to do that in a rentable way?
Well, I think the traditional strategy of putting fences around things and calling them parks is not going to work, because people have settled in lands and they have other purposes for those lands. And so dual-use lands, creating more flexible definition of parks, protected areas, that's going to be very important.